say, Lewis, you're an absolute hypocrite. Over the years, Lewis has said that he... Can you hear? Can you hear? Right, yeah. I'll start again. Thank you very much. Right, we'll get started. So, yeah, Lewis, absolute hypocrite. Over the years, Lewis has said that he wouldn't be seen dead teaching in a private school, and then he goes and gets married in one. So I've been waiting 9 years and 2 months. That's when Lewis delivered his best man speech at my wedding, and later that evening dropped his trousers on the dance floor.
I was younger then.
Lewis, I've been waiting patiently to get my revenge, and here it is. I'm not going to drop my trousers just yet. But first I've got to say it's an absolute privilege to be standing here delivering Lewis's best man speech. Lewis is the most popular guy I know. Do you know how many friends he has on Facebook? 1,249.
Well, ex-students.
Yeah.
He teaches 16 years.
Yeah. Lewis is intelligent, he's extremely personable and immensely loyal. He's my oldest friend. We grew up together, attending each other's birthday parties. And over time we developed a long-lasting, close relationship. We share a lot in common. We enjoy a drink together. We enjoy listening to live music.
Who's the blonde girl? Sorry.
Yeah, we'll not say that. We enjoy family time together, and we like travelling together. And it's these things that we have in common that I intend to use as subjects, which absolutely mock Lewis here today. Right. Let's get started, shall we? So, Lewis loves to drink. In fact, he loves nothing more than sort of finding a decent pub, normally of the Irish variety, and knocking back a few Guinnesses whilst engaging in civilised chat with his friend and family members. Here's Lewis enjoying a civilised drink. Here's Lewis enjoying another civilised drink. And here's Lewis. Now, in the summer of 1999, a few of us decided to mark the end of our exams by spending a week away from home. So one morning, 21 of us in 7 cars drove to the bottom of Harley Shoe Road in Hastings, turned right, and continued in convoy for another 220 miles until we reached Newquay. Useful map there, yeah. What could go wrong? Well, apart from Big Kev breaking down in his sister's Fiat Tipo on the end of the New Forest. Where is Kev?
Is there?
What's the problem? What was the problem with the alternator? Right, yeah. We all made it there and back in one piece, but only just. Lewis was almost the exception to the rule, getting slightly carried away one night with a bit too much southern comfort. Now, this is a family show, so I was a bit nervous about showing you the events as they unfolded that night. So I can show you a bit of the aftermath. So this was the morning after. This is Lewis on his way to the local A&E department to get an injection in his bottom to offset the effects of the booze. Yeah, it was that bad. So yeah, best stick to the civilised drinks there, Lewis. Yeah, teasing, we'll get there. Mash, one of the ushers, was telling me about the time that they went on holiday together, also in the late 90s, and they went to Menorca. And they did one of those, went to one of those little mini-mart places that you get in holiday resorts. And Lewis was pushing the trolley on the way in, and the shop had one of those single-pane glass doors. And as Lewis was pushing the trolley in, the door slammed shut, hit the trolley, smashed everywhere, glass all around him. And as you can imagine, the shop owner was absolutely livid. So Lewis, you know, to his credit, did the gentlemanly thing and delivered a heartfelt Frank Spencer impression. Go on, Lewis, go on.
Ooh, Betty.
Yeah. And then there was the time. There was a time a few years later when Lewis got so drunk on a night out that he decided not to go home and risk a massive telling off from his mum and dad. So he did what any civilised person would do. He checked himself into the 2-star Chatsworth Hotel. No less than number 9 out of 11 of hotels on TripAdvisor. And not many of you will know that Lewis was very briefly a barman in Wetherspoons, also in Hastings. Useful picture for you there, yeah. Except the person that he was pulling a pint for was himself during a night out with his Uncle Patrick in full view of the bar staff. Yeah, Lewis wasn't allowed back into Wetherspoons. So, as I said, Lewis and I love music. We share the same taste in music. If it's on radio too, we'll probably love it. And I'm going out on a limb here by suggesting that Lewis's favourite artist of all time is the lead singer and guitarist of The Jam, Mr. Paul Weller. And I do have a bit of evidence to base this on. It's a bit of background. It's February this year, and of course, little Jenny and Lewis's son Joshua was born. And a couple of days after he was born, they finally made it home to spend their first few days as a new family together. You know, it's an exciting and magical time. But it's also an extremely nerve-wracking and anxious time. So I thought I'd do the friendly thing of texting Lewis to sort of find out how they were planning to spend those next few days as a family together. Again, it's just 2 days after Joshua was born. So I've got the text message conversation here that I'm going to bring up. Lewis, I want you to come up here and read the text messages that you sent me that day. 2 days after Joshua was born, just a reminder there. So I'll be me. So Lewis, how are you getting on?
I think the word is adjusting, mate. You got home yesterday afternoon, so just short of 48 hours up the conquest. A little surreal having him home, but very nice at the same time.
It'll take a while, as we're getting used to the smell of his nappies. Immediately, yeah.
I've changed one nappy so far, but I feel that was just a gentle preview of what's to come in that. Very grateful to have Jenny's mum with us over the weekend to help Even more so as I was getting to see Paul.
Are you still going tonight?
In my mind, I'm still going tonight. I wouldn't be going if Jenny's mum wasn't here to help tonight, but seeing as she is, I think that will be
So what we're all dying to know is 2 days after Joshua was born, did Lewis abandon Jenny and Joshua to go and see Paul Weller? I'm being a bit harsh. A few weeks ago I texted Jenny to ask her for Lewis's best quality, and she replied, he's a loving father to Joshua, which won't come as a surprise to anybody here today. His worst quality is snoring. Again, won't come as a surprise to anybody like me who's shared a hotel room with Lewis over the years. And on the subject of Jenny, I first met Jenny a couple of years ago, just a few weeks before my own son was born, and we were having a close gathering of friends and family members, and Lewis brought Jenny along, and I was intent on having a good time. You know, my son was about to be born, so I probably wasn't going to have a night out for a while. So after the party, we continued. We had a bit of an after party, I suppose you could say, which involved getting the train to Eastbourne via Lewis. And this is Lewis and a friend of ours on Lewis station platform, acting completely responsible, as you can see. And there's Jenny in the background. Can't quite see, but she is basically thinking, you absolute prats. But, you know, to her credit, she must have liked what she saw in Lewis's friends and family. As, you know, over the next 2 years, they got engaged, they bought and moved into a lovely family home together, they had a baby son, and of course they got married today. And what an absolutely fantastic day it's been so far. You look incredible. As do your bridesmaids, Nicole, Kate and Zoe. And a big shout out for little Joshua and Jenny and Lewis's niece Dervla as page boy. So a little while ago I spoke about our trip to Newquay back in 1999, and what a few of us didn't realise at the time that trip would go on to become something special. The Jolly Boys Weekend. Yes. Over the last 19 years, no less than 23 Jolly Boys weekends have been enjoyed by myself, Lewis, and our mates. And Lewis has been on every single one of them. He's travelled 36,500 miles around the world, 1.5 times around the world to 19 eclectic countries, each boasting their own rich and varied cultures, all in search of the perfect Irish pub. And I have to say that the pinnacle of our Jolly Boys weekend careers was when we took the opportunity to turn 30 in style. Vegas. Now, of course, you know, being Vegas, we did the usual testosterone-fueled activities. We gambled, we shot guns in a controlled environment, of course. We hired a massive Hummer and drove it up and down the strip. We took a helicopter ride over the strip. And we visited the Hoover Dam and I think it's the Colorado River, Lewis, isn't it? Geography man? Yeah. And we got suited and booted like Ocean's 11. And if you're Lewis in Vegas, you read Tony Blair's autobiography. So this is the stratosphere. America's tallest freestanding tower, rising up to 1,249 feet. Now, the Americans, being the Americans, they weren't content with just building an observation tower in the middle of the city. No, they decided to build a load of kind of thrill rides on the top. So, you know, it would have been rude not to have tried them out. And Lewis has he's been on a few roller coaster rides in his time, so you know, he's normally quite content with them. This is the big shot. Basically, you sit on this thing and you get shot up in the air and then you bounce back down again in free fall. It's yeah, it's fairly scary. Justin, Lewis, Kev, just about to take off.
Where are you? Hands up.
This is Justin, Lewis, and Kev. This is Justin and Lewis checking out the and just as a side note, Big Kev didn't go on any more rides. This one's called Extreme. It's like a massive seesaw that tips you over the edge, and you basically think you're going to plunge to your death. So yeah, a few of us went on this. You can see myself at the front there with James, I think, and Ian and Richard. and Lewis at the back there. Can't quite see, the sort of look on his face, so we'll get a bit closer, shall we? Yeah. To this year, when the Jolly Boys weekend doubled up as Lewis's stag do, and as you mentioned earlier, well, I won't move on to that yet. I'll actually say that what I was kind of hoping for originally was a few quiet drinks in maybe in an Irish pub, but of course this is Lewis, so a few quiet drinks led to organising 22 friends and family members flying from 6 different airports into a quiet European city called Amsterdam. And by all accounts, it was a fairly civilised affair. This is us on a boat trip, cruising along Amsterdam's canals. Had a lovely dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe. And one of the things that Lewis said before we went away was, "Do not dress me in anything ridiculous." So we didn't. We dressed him in something he'd be proud to wear. The Leeds United kit, perhaps? A Labour Party rosette? No. A European Union hat? No. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Lewis Del Boy Hall. And it's...
Yeah.
We picked the weekend that mainland Europe was experiencing that ridiculous heat wave. So he spent the next few hours in 40-degree heat wearing the sheepskin coat. And I just want to say a big shout out to Leighton and his little son Harry, who made that absolutely fantastic car there. That was a superb job. But Lewis absolutely loved it. He was really getting into the swing of it. And just to show you, I think, how well we did. There you go. So, as you probably worked out, Lewis is, a massive Only Fools and Horses fan, and I thought we'd put that to the test by making Lewis take part in an Only Fools and Horses quiz. So, come Question 1. Who wrote Only Fools and Horses?
John Sullivan.
John Sullivan. John Sullivan. Question 2. What is the name of the character who went to school with Del and later became a policeman?
Slater. Roy Slater. I sometimes go out.
When Del decided to sell his own brand of mineral water, what was the brand called?
Peckham Spring.
Which song was played last in the episode in which Rodney married Cassandra?
Simply Red, Hall Back in the Years. And finally, what is the name of Boycie and Marlene's pet dog? Duke.
Five out of 5, Lewis. Fantastic. Hang on a minute. What's going on here? Bit of a Skype. Lewis, should we take the call?
Yeah.
Take the call.
Thank you, Lewis and Jenny. Boycie here. Now, your best man apparently needs some help with his speech, so I have been roped in. Just to say that me and Marlene have been waiting for our invitation to your nuptials, but it seems to have got lost in the post somewhere. No matter, we send you our congratulations and hope that you will be as happy as we have been all these years. It says here, we're just off down the Nag's Head now for a snifter with Dale and the gang. So, we'll raise a glass to you. For God's sake, get that Joshua out of the wedding cake!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you all to join Boycie and me in raising a glass to the new Mr. and Mrs. Hall, Lewis and Jenny.